Good morning, all the wonderful, magnificent, and extraordinary people. It's an amazing place, and thank you for joining. Before getting into the session, we all know that why we are here. Of course, our aim is to have a life of ease, joy, and glory, and also we are a truly contributor. We help others to get life of ease, joy, and glory. Achieving that, we are doing through four methods. Can anyone share one by just 4 points Shar always mentions? Can you share from your side what is that you remember from that 4 points? Our objective of EMC. Anybody? Yes, sir.
Survival to creative mode.
Amazing. Thank you, Ji. I expect one from everybody. Thank you for that sharing, Reddy. Anybody else? Yes, Sandhiji.
From default mode to creative mode.
That Reddy sir said already.
Okay. Then performance is equal to.
No, that is a formula. He sir always have four statement in this slide. First one is moving from default to create mode. Of course, that is the objective. What is the second thing? It need not be in order. At least 4 things has to come. And you can remember and come back.
Hello.
Good morning, Ramaji, Kunenji. Yes, Premji, you want to say something?
Control the ego and anger.
Of course, we are all working here very hard to control the ego and anger so that we can just elevate to next level. That is absolutely fine. But Sal says forward. It starts with moving from default mode to creative mode. I want the balance 3.
Every situation is an opportunity to become a better version of yourself.
Beautiful. That's a tool. But Sal comes with 4 lines in the statement, the slide. Becoming possibility seeker, dissipating the negativity, and increasing their focus and energy. Trust me, if we are able to catch this, life will be very different and we will be in a very different mode and we'll sit in the driver's seat. Thank you very much for this. And like I told you, few people who joined early, today we are going to have very different and little fun session. How it will be fun, I'll announce you. Sir is little busy, so he asked us to discuss. So you know when master is not there, what students will do. We are going to use this thing in a very little different way, and we are going to learn also. How? We are going to share stories, our favorite stories. Each one can contribute. Let us see how many people get a chance. But before sharing the story, only one condition is there. It could be a small one-line story also, or a big story, okay. But you should be able to contribute the message from that. You should be able to tell us what is the message in it. Like it's a bedtime story to a kid, or what you all could have said to your kids, grandkids, or to friends. Or you could remember so many stories you heard. Let us contribute and let's see what kind of a message comes here. Just start to remember. And I'll tell you, it will be very interesting because we all carry so many stories in our head. And that story has got a deeper messages, like how Sairi has got deeper messages. It can hit you like anything. To start with, I share one story, which is very close to my heart. I read it from Dr. David Hawkins. People call him fondly the modest saint. The story goes this way. The title of the story is Mama's Bank Account. The story goes this way. It's a big family. The grandma said, I opened a bank account. And also she said, everybody, I deposited a huge amount into it. And she also said, everyone, very convincingly, that whenever you get into trouble, you tell me, I can withdraw money from the bank and solve the problem. And when grandma says no, it's not a kind of a manipulation or a lies or support, because they will say what they can do. That's what. So everybody believed it. And people started doing things. And what happens over a period of time now? They are able to see some growth in them, their life. Like somebody is trying to getting a situation where they are about to lose a job. They come to Mama, they say, Mama, I am having trouble in my job. Mama says, don't worry, I have a bank account. I have deposited huge money. If something goes wrong, we can withdraw from that and leave it. They will work and they will change the job. They keep growing. Everybody is growing. Story goes this way. One fine day, Mama is no more, and everybody is checking what is that bank account, everything. Then they realize that there is no such bank account. But what the story says, when the fear is being eliminated from a person, his first block is being removed. He's going to next level. Lot of things where we get stuck is fear. Fear of uncertainty, fear of what will happen, something like that. So this story, though it is a story, it tells that we can be that person elevating fear to others, and we can help ourselves by doing some rituals, removing this fear. Then, like we spoke yesterday, transformation is assured. This is my quick share. Now I want volunteers. I would love to hear more stories today. Let's see how many stories come. Let's see how many people get a chance. Come on. Please raise your hand. Yes, Rasmi is ready. And meantime, others also be prepared. Today, we are going to share so many stories. Yes, Rasmi ji, go ahead, please.
So mine is a very short story. Am I audible to everyone?
Okay, for me, little louder would help.
Okay, is this better?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hasina ji, sorry, I keep you muted because sometimes it makes noise. When you share, I will unmute. Huh? Please beat the line.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I'm
Rasmi ji.
sorry, I forget.
No
Yeah.
problem, ji.
So there is a monk who is training with the master, and then the two of them are going on a journey, and they come across a river, and at that river they find this very beautiful young lady who doesn't know how to swim, and she says, can you please help me cross this river to the monk and his master? The monk thinks, oh no, this is beyond, this is not something I can do. This is not part of my religion. I'm not going to do it. But the master just picks her up and carries her across the river. And then they reach, so she thanks them and she's very grateful. And the young monk says that, how did my master break the rule of touching? That's not part of our do's and don't do's. And then they reach their abode for the night where they're resting, and the monk cannot get over this thing, and he cannot hold himself when the morning comes. And he says, Master, you know, we are not allowed to touch women. Why did you carry that across? So the master says, you know, I just carried her from the river from one side to the other, but you carried her the entire night in your head and in your mind. So the lesson, and the story has stayed with me because we mull over things, we think about things, we don't let them go. It was a simple act of helping one human being come over their difficulty. which finished in a few minutes. But we wrap stories around it. We wrap stories around things that happen around us, and we make it bigger than what it is. And that's how this whole baggage that that comes and that it just becomes heavier and heavier and heavier. So this story means a lot to me because I remind myself to let go every day the baggage that I might have adopted. Thank you.
Amazing, Rasmiji. Amazing in-depth story, and also the way you said the cool posture. I like the way. Thank you very much for that contribution. Of course, it is the greatest thing. If we learn the art of letting it go, life will be very amazing. And Guru Nandanji, thank you. Good time for joining. And I want to explain you a little bit what we are doing. We do something differently today. Sir is little busy, so we are just handling the sharing part. The twist today is not everybody is going to discuss about topic very seriously. We are going to tell stories. Each one sharing one story. But one condition is, end of the story, you should tell a moral. What you felt, what you learned, something. So we started, I said, Rashmiji said, and you can also be prepared. I know that you have so many stories because you are dealing with kids. I'll come back to you. We are discussing with Rashmiji. Rashmiji, when you said that story, I remember one thing. I'm little fond of Swami Chinmayananda, Chinmaya Mission. I used to do volunteer work. He said one beautiful word. Who is a hypocrite? We have some hypocrisy and hypocrite and all. I don't know how I'm pronouncing properly, but hypocrite or hypocrite something. He gives this explanation. The person who leaves the objects or goes away from the object, but keeps on indulging in the mind. The moment he goes away, he should also throw away from the mind, but not throwing away from the mind, only indulging. That is a hypocrite. You do all the time. Even if you do all the opposite also, it is like we spoke yesterday, after realizing you can come back to the world, you do normal work without affecting anything. Okay. But leaving things but indulging in mind is a kind of hypocrisy. You also mentioned it in a beautiful way. Thank you very much for sharing. Now, floor is open. Who is going to tell next story? This story is going to come from UK.
Yeah, I can just read what I, have come across. Normally, we say that we have three states of mind: the waking, the dreaming, and deep sleep. But in Sanskrit, they say there's a word called Turiya, and people believe that it is the fourth state of mind, and which is like raising, just going above the three states. But one of our saints, in South India, the one in I don't remember his name, but he explains very nicely that since we call Turiya as the fourth state, but it is not actually a different state of mind. It is the Turiya is what underlies these three, but people do not believe, do not readily understand it, and therefore they call it the fourth state. What he's trying to say is the Turiya underlies the three states, and it's giving power. It's that state of mind that empowers our body, mind, and spirit. I mean, it is a spirit, but what we say, body, mind, is being empowered by that state. So it's like, you can call it spirit, soul, or whatever. And the aim of every person on the spiritual journey is to be in that state. So that's the meaning of Turiya.
Amazing, Rataji. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
that. I
thank you.
vaguely remember it maybe from Ramana Maharishi and
Yeah,
Ramaji
yeah,
can
yeah,
enlighten
yeah,
us
yeah, yeah.
because he
No,
is,
that's the
he
one.
is,
Yeah, that's the one. But I
whenever
couldn't
Ramaji get
recollect the name.
time, he can add more to it.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
And if I
Okay.
can just add, Ratanji, in Greek mythology also they have something similar. And if I can just add, and we can see how it is
Sure.
like, different
Sure.
parts. It's so it says that there are two different types of time. So this is not about the mind, but the time. Chronos time is when we live in. It is the time that we live in. It's regular time. It's
Right.
1 minute at a time, staring down at the clock until bedtime. It's the
Mhm.
10 excruciating minutes in the target timeline, 4 screaming minutes in a timeout time, 2 hours until you're waiting for your partner to come home. Chronos is the hard, slow passing time we parents always sometimes live in. Then there is Kairos time. Kairos is God's time. It's time outside of time. It's metaphysical time. Kairos is those magical moments in which time stands still. I really wish that each one of us have few of those magical Kairos moments every day. So this is from Glenn Doyle Melton on Carry On Warrior from his book Thoughts on Life Unarmed. Thank you.
Can you tell us the book again, madam? Book name, title?
Yeah. The authors are Glennon Doyle Melton. And the book is called Carry On Warrior, Thoughts on Life Unarmed.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ratanji. Thank you, Rashmiji. Amazing input. Of course, we all will pray for it. And thanks for that blessing. Let us get into that timeless time. Now, awaiting for next exciting story, please. Please raise your hand if your story is ready. Meantime, everybody prepares. I use this time. I will tell one more story. A young guy getting married. Then, of course, it's a happy time. They enjoy each other. And the wife wants to impress him. Then she said, darling, tell me, what is your favorite food? I'll cook for you. Then he says, mutton steak. Okay, we'll go buy mutton, come back and clean it. And what she does is, because he also happened to be staying in the kitchen. He sees whatever she is doing. What this guy is doing, after the girl, after cleaning the mutton, she cuts exactly 1 inch from both the side of the stick, cuts and throws it out. Then she applies spices, puts in the pan and just heat it, serve to him. He was finding it a little strange, but it's a young couple and newly married. He doesn't want to make it as an issue. He just asked, why did you do that? She says, that is how steak is being made. That is how everybody is doing. He said, okay, it's not a big deal. Now, our good time is important. This, how to make steak is not very important. He left it. Then over a period of time, they are going to that girl's mother's house. Then everybody having a good time. Then again, the wife says he loves mutton steak. Then wife's mother says, let us cook same first so that he will enjoy the food. Okay. They are cooking mutton steak at kitchen. This guy wants to check it out. Just want curiosity how their mother is making this mutton. Then he goes into kitchen. Auntie, can I stay in the kitchen? Yeah, you're welcome. Stay here. And same way, her mother-in-law is taking the mutton, cleaning it, and exactly cuts 1 inch from both the side, throw it out, then applying spices, putting it in the pan. And he says, and he stopped there. What did you do? I'm making mutton stick. Why did you cut this end? That is how they are making. That is how the mutton stick is being made. And he knows something is fishy, but I don't want to create that as issue. Let it go on. Then they enjoyed a mutton steak. The story goes away. And one day they happened to go to their grandmother's house, wife's grandmother's house. Same situation, happy moment. They make mutton steak. Then grandmother is making mutton steak. Then this guy got curious. How she's doing? Let us go and see. See, he goes inside, sees mother and the grandmother, the way of making mutton steak. She takes mutton, cleans it, putting spices, putting it in a pan and cooking it. Then he's got curious. Can you explain why you do one process, you missed it? She's surprised. What is the process? I'm doing it for a very long time and this is how it is being made. Then he's asking, don't you cut that 1 inch both the side? Then immediately she laughs it out. And he's asking, why are you laughing? She says, that I used to cut before because I have got a small pan. The mutton stick won't sit there. I changed the pan now, so I don't need to cut. You're getting the point. She has a small pan. To fit into that, she used to cut them. But her daughter took it in such a way that mutton stick should be cut both the side. And same thing learned from her daughter, mutton stick should be cut from both the side, 1 inch through. So it is the belief system which we are seeing. So we do so many things with our own perception, but we rarely stop and reflect on it and understand the truth behind it. So this is one story, but if you go deeper into our life, trust me, we can reveal so many things which we are doing it. Just we took it from others and we believe that that is the ultimate way. If we are reflecting it, our life can be totally different. So this is the story which I would like to share with you. And yes, Guru Nandanji is ready with the story.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. Sorry, there was some network issue, so I had to go. I joined earlier, then I had to rejoin. Okay, so there are two stories I want to share with everybody. Is it okay?
That is a bonus. Please go ahead.
Okay, so one from my grandmother and one from my amazing boss, right? So first I'll share the story from my grandmother. So in earlier days, there used to be saints who used to live little far off from the main town or main village, and they used to meditate and do a lot of worship there, and they had their disciples. So one day this the saint used to go and ask for food from the house nearby village, and they used to live that way. And he used to, then the disciples used to cook and they used to have. So one day this saint was not feeling well. So he told his two disciples, okay, today I'm not well. Both of you go and you get, bhiksha or the food from the village, and then we will eat together. They said, okay. So both of them went. So they reached the same village and they said, okay, I'll go right, you go left. And that's how they started going to house, door to door. And, the first disciple, he went to a lady who was sitting outside in the porch, and she was preparing some food on the chula out there, right? Chula is a small, earlier time barbecue where they used to prepare food. So, and this disciple went and he said, today my my guru is not well, so he has sent us to take food. So she said, okay, no problem, you sit, I will prepare rice for you and khichdi for you. And she started preparing. While she was preparing food, this disciple says, you have got so many buffaloes in your house, you must be getting good milk. So she said, yes, everything is good. but your door is so narrow. How does Buffalo go from here? And, he started talking something which was not very pleasant to listen by that lady and not very making any sense. So what she did, she just took out the half cooked rice and gave to him. Now you leave, right? This is what I'm going to give you. Because she was offended with the talks of that disciple, and she didn't like, he was only talking about negative things out there in her house, right? And she just put up the half cooked and she gave it. And he said, I don't know what has happened. He just went out to search for more food. And after some time, the second disciple comes to the same house, to the same lady. And he said, Ki, my guru is not well today and I want food. So somewhere in that, her heart, that lady also felt that, I had given a half-cooked food to to the disciple of the guru. Doesn't matter. Now he comes, so she says, okay, you also sit. I will prepare food for you. And this guy, he started reciting shaloks. So this guy, he sat down, he with very politely, and he started chanting. He started the chanting, and in our religion, they say part karna shuru kar diya, right? And he started chanting shaloks. He started chanting, and the lady was so happy that she cooked the rice, she cooked the lentils and other things also, and she gave it to him along with the Swedish, right? And she was so happy, she was feeling so positive vibes and everything, that she was in such a happy state of mind that she gave even Swedish to him, and then she made him go out. So the moral of the story was that if we are interacting with others, how do we communicate? What do we communicate, right? And if we are talking something which is not negative, which is in a very positive manner and making the other person feel relaxed and happy, we will always get the same kind of response from there, right? So this was the learning from that grandma's story to me, that always be kind and polite with people so that you get the same kind of response from the other side. Right.
Amazing, Guru. Before you get into next story, I just want to interrupt and take a minute just to add little later moment. After this many years, now I know the secret how to bring good food from my wife. If something was not all right with the food, it is not that she is cooking wrong. It is I was chanting something opposite. Now I know how to bring good food from the kitchen. I have to chant properly.
Frankly speaking, this is a very important point you have put up. Now we make halwa at home. So we make halwa at home, and the prasad that we get at temple, why there is difference in the taste? In home also we put the same ingredients, same flour, same desi ghee, pure ghee and chini, sugar and all that. It's the same ingredients. But when you go to Gurdwara temple and you take prasad from there, the taste is entirely different because of the vibrations, because of the environment, chanting and a lot of things. Because when we prepare prasad, we are chanting and we are focused on God Almighty. When we are preparing food at kitchen, there are so many thoughts coming to the mind, and the vibration or the aura of that place matters a lot in adding taste to the food. Right? It is actually, you will find a difference always. Right? So,
amazing way, and also the practice of praying before eating, thanking the food before eating, and just saying a good word to God before eating makes a big difference. Very, very big difference.
Absolutely.
Amazing insight, Purundaji. Please go ahead with your other story.
Yeah. So the second story comes from a very great personality, Mr. Manoj Kohli, who was my first chief executive officer of telecom organization. Now is the chairman for SoftBank, right? So in one of the town hall meetings, he shared an amazing insight that I have taken for my lifetime, right? So he said, we all are jugglers in our life, right? We keep juggling, we do multitasking, we do so many things, we do a job, a few people along with job do either a second job or a side business. And then, we run our family, we take care of parents, we take care of children, and we have to take care of our health, everything. There's so many things that we do around. So we are jugglers in life. And usually jugglers, they juggle with 4 or 5 items, right? So there are 5 balls that we are juggling constantly in our life. And the conditions of these balls are that 3 balls are rubber balls and 2 balls are crystal balls, right? Now, which are the rubber balls? The rubber ball is your job, your money, and your friends, right? So your friends, your money, and your job is your rubber ball, and your own health and your family are 2 crystal balls. So your family is also a crystal ball and your own health is also a crystal ball. When we juggle in life, there would always be a point where we might get fumbled, right? You should always take care and you should always take decision of dropping the rubber ball rather than dropping a crystal ball, right? Because rubber ball will always jump back. If you lose your job, you'll get a job, right? If you lose money, you can always earn it back. If you lose your friend, you can always go and make that friend again, come back to you or make new friends. But if you lose your family, it's not going to come ever. If you lose your health, it is not going to come ever, right? So while juggling in life, when we make decisions, we have to take decisions a lot of time. We should always think which ball are we dropping and which ball are we catching, right? So if we are conscious enough to take decisions in life, not to drop crystal ball of family and health, and it's okay to drop job, money, or friends, they will always come back, right? So this was my learning, and I've already always taken my decision. This learning I had in 1999, and it's almost 30 years now, 22 years now that I've been taking all my decisions based on this story or this learning, right? Thank you.
Amazing story, Gurunandanji. And with your life reflection, when you say no, it goes deeper into our head. Thank you very much for that. And 2 things comes into my mind I feel like sharing. One is when you say crystal ball and rubber ball, we can also take it from our coaching teachings and other abundance related stuff. Though you say crystal ball, I say it is a crystal. If you pick that crystal, which gives you abundance, which gives you all. These 2 things are health and family can give you abundance. Playing with 5 balls, you play with all balls, but focus these 2 balls. You should not drop it. Beautiful point. Beautiful point. Thank you very much for that story, Gurunandanji. And now Punetji, then Santiji.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Ladies first, Shanti ji first.
Good
Morning,
morning.
ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you. Santiji, go ahead.
Yes. Actually, what Gurunandan ji has told is true. When we cook, our mindset has to be very calm. Then only the food will come good. That is true of every lady. If you're thinking so many things, you can cut vegetables like anything. But when you put everything in the kadai, after that, your mind has to be very calm. Then only you will add the right amount of ingredients which add taste to the food, like spices or salt or whatever, and also the consistency. You can reach the correct consistency only when your mind is very calm. Otherwise, if your mind is full of other negative thoughts, you won't get the you won't stop at the right consistency. It is the experience of all women. I have seen it. So if you want a good food, then keep the woman in the right state of mind. Thank you.
Amazing, Santiji. Thanks for that share. It is a secret recipe for a good food
Food.
Sadhiji shared, Gurunandan and Sadhiji, the recipe is, it is not important what you put it in the pan. It is important that what you put it into your wife's head.
Yes. What is in your head?
No, what we put, we are influencing now. If we positively influence, food will come positively.
This was taught to me by my aunt. She's an excellent cook. She used to tell that the mindset should be very calm when you cook. Then the food will come. It is what that Indian Oil's advertisement goes like. It is not the food, the ingredients alone. You have to put love, the other ingredient. That
Wow.
also has to go into the food. That love makes that a difference in the taste. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Sadhiji. Great info.
Hello.
And Punemji, you can tell your story and also you can tell your Sairi. We are at the time. We have to close it
Thank
out.
you.
Then we have Kuldeepji also. So we can ask her this. Please, Ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Vetriji, and very inspiring stories. And I really enjoyed. This reminds me, Sukhdeepak sir always says that your attitude of serving, the servitude, and this is what I'm getting from the stories, whether it is home or wherever the cooking is done, the intention is to serve someone else, to make someone happy with the food. So of course the element of love, affection is there, but the feeling of service, serving other human beings, ultimately to make the creator happier, that's the powerful thing I am learning. So now the story what I wanted to share, Vetriji, this old story you might have heard, is about success. You want to listen? This is one of my favorite story
Please.
from Socrates. So one young man asked Socrates, Socrates, you must be knowing, I think it was a Greek philosopher. So the young man asked him that, give me the secret of success. It's very, we all are looking for that formula. And Socrates was a philosopher. He observed the young man. He said that, okay, if you want to know the secret of success, meet me next morning near to a river. And then young man was a bit surprised that what he is going to give me, maybe something from the river or something. So he was a bit curious. And next morning, he reached to the river, wherever the location was given. And Socrates was waiting for him. He was there. And he said, okay, come with me and let's cross the river. So Socrates took this young man with himself and he said, okay, we'll go together, we'll cross. The secret of success is on the other side. So the young man was excited. Okay, let's go, let's find out what is the secret. So when they were crossing and the water level was getting a bit upper, and when the water got up to their neck, or they were deep in the water till the neck, then Socrates took the young man by surprise and dug him into the water by holding the neck. So, and he was holding it tight. So the man struggled to get out. Of course, we can imagine that your head is inside the water and somebody is holding. So, but Socrates was a bit strong, and then he was holding the hand, and a young man was struggling, trying to come up, and it was a tough time for him. But he struggled hard and finally managed to came out of the water level. And the first thing he did was he was gasping and took a deep breath. We can imagine that after so much struggle, putting force and all, just came out. like that. So then Socrates asked him that what did you want the most when you were under the water? What exactly you wanted? Then the young man replied, I wanted to breathe. I wanted air. Otherwise, I would have collapsed. So then Socrates say that that is the most secret of, or secret to, the success. He said, what? It is air or what? He said, no. When you want success as badly as you want air, you will get it. There's no other secret. So the moral or the reflection of this story, which I keep on reminding myself, is that the desire, and Sukdeepak sir always says the commitment, your intention, because when you have the intention, there'll be counter intention. But it depends how the stronger intention you have and how committed you are to remove the interferences, all the stoppers, the blockers from your road. That comes with the commitment. So that desire, or whatsoever you can say, the burning desire or the commitment or whatsoever label you want to give. So that is the strongest intention, or the desires is the starting point of all the achievements, all the success, all the accomplishments. So just like, for example, if you say the small fire, if the fire is small, it will not give enough heat. So if you are cooking in the kitchen, I can relate that the burner, if you switch on the stove and the burner flame is a bit low, you can't cook the food appropriately. It'll take longer time. But if it is good enough, it gives good heat, good energy, and you can cook the food correctly. So if the desire is weak, it produces weaker result. But if the desire is like finding air, then it gives the ultimate success, whatsoever we are looking for.
Amazing,
What I
amazing.
want to
Correct.
say. Thank you so much.
Great story. I just want to add a little lighter to it. Say, put it in full flame. No more Great.
Be careful, the
You
food should not get burned. That's also important.
you can share the shairi. We can close the session after listening to you and Kuldeep.
हाँ, शायरी आज जो याद आ रही जनाब, dedicated to all of us present here in this August gathering, is that and remembering Sukdeepak sir, I'm missing him, that कुछ खास नहीं, बस इतनी सी दास्तान मोहब्बत है मेरी. Who will translate this? Guru Nandan ji, maybe you can translate, sir. कुछ खास नहीं, बस इतनी सी दास्ताने मोहब्बत है मेरी, हर रात का आखिरी ख्याल और हर सुबह की पहली सोच हो तुम.
Okay, so can we do a line by line, Kunal sir? Yeah.
कुछ खास नहीं, बस इतनी सी दास्ताने मोहब्बत है मेरी.
Not much, but it is a small story of my love for you.
हर रात का आखिरी ख्याल और हर सुबह की पहली सोच हो तुम.
My last thought before going to sleep. So, and first thought of my day as soon as I wake up is about you.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. So dedicated to Sukdeepak sir and all of us, all of
Oh,
you.
lovely. And also secret formula to have a happy life. Tell it to your wife.
Of course.
Great story, Karan Saab. Actually, it was really amazing. And that's what we call it burning desire and sense of urgency, right? That brings you to the closest to the success, right? It's really amazing. Thank you so much for such a wonderful story.
Now, Kuldeep ji, can we hear it from you?
A small story. There was an executive in a multinational firm, and he bought a new car which he liked very much. And one day when he was coming out of house, he saw that his small son was sitting near the car and sketching it, doing something with the sharp pencil or something. He was very much annoyed, just bought it. Incidentally, the executive was doing something in his house with the hammer. The hammer was in his hand. And he put the hammer there on the hand of that boy. And moment it happened, there was a lot of blood in the hand. Boy has to be admitted and found that 4 of his fingers, they were damaged. And doctor said it is a deformity maybe for the life. So he was astonished and he was very sad. Anyway, doesn't matter, could not do anything. After 3 days, he just wanted to see, and he saw the place where this sketching was done by the boy. And he saw that boy has written, I love you, Papa. By seeing this, he was so much shocked and went into unconsciousness. He was also admitted to the hospital. So the moral is they avoid doing things in haste. Haste is always a waste. That is a small story.
Great message, Jipji. Thank you for reminding us that reaction doesn't help. Thank you for that. And any sharing from you, sir?
दूसरों की खामियों का यूं मजा ना लीजिए. खामियां means weakness. दूसरों की खामियों का यूं मजा ना लीजिए, आपकी अच्छाइयां भी किरकिरी हो जाएंगी. Means don't enjoy in the weaknesses of others. Your goodness also will get evaporated. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Ji. Thank you very much for that. And it is a
Kuldeep ji, can you just repeat it one more time, please?
दूसरों की खामियों का यूं मजा ना लीजिए. दूसरों की खामियों का यूं मजा ना लीजिए, आपकी अच्छाइयां भी किरकिरी हो जाएंगी. It is clear?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeepji. It's been amazing sharing by everyone, and it's kind of though it is a very limited crowd, but enlightening informations. And on a lighter note, I take off 2 things. One is how to bring good food from the kitchen while my wife cooks. I know what to chant. Second thing, Punetji explained how to cook. Put it in full flame. That is just on a lighter note to bring you a little smile on your face. Thank you very much. It's been an amazing journey. We'll meet tomorrow with Sir. We'll discuss more and let us be in our transformation journey. Wishing you everyone a wonderful day. Happy day. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Vittu. Thank you so
God
much.
bless everyone.
Bye bye.